It works.
Hello.
Hello.
Did it work?
Yeah, it did. It's amazing.
Lovely. What a start.
What a start.
What a start.
Right, so we can actually say this is the first video podcast that we've done or doing.
Oh yes. We
Finally.
didn't make it clear, did we? But last recording we tried it, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
We'll be honest with you.
we did some little bit of editing to magically pretend it never happened. It was a bit embarrassing, wasn't it? We literally were like, oh my god, the first Zoom podcast. Whoa, guys, this is
We really
sick.
hyped it up as well.
It was just like, no, not
By
good,
the way,
mate.
am I meant to be recording on Audacity?
I mean, you can if you want. It doesn't really.
I've just started that now, so we might not have that bit if anything corrupts.
Don't matter, mate. It's fine.
Oh, this is good.
Well, this records everything, so
Oh, cool.
I think what I noticed when we record Audacity, it's a bit the quality's better.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we're doing a Zoom podcast as well, we got the audio on that as well, which isn't that bad.
We're covering all bases, mate. That's what we love.
I mean, talking of covering all bases, mate, have you been blown away at all?
Oh, mate. So I've just been shopping and now it's Storm Franklin. And I didn't know about Storm Franklin.
Sorry, who's giving it? Who gets these names? Who gets to make the decision?
I saw a tweet this morning. It was like, struggled to sleep last night because my back doors were being blown in by Franklin. And I was like, what? And then I was like, she obviously hashtagged Franklin and I clicked it and I was like, oh, the Storm's upgraded its name. So like I know it goes through the alphabet, but I didn't realize how quickly it goes through.
It goes through the alphabet.
Yeah, so like I'm sure that's true. I might be wrong, but like obviously you had Eunice and now we've got Franklin. So like it like it like they obviously name it each time a storm's coming. But I was just so confused by it, and I was doing the shopping this morning, and I was like, honestly, mate, there's lampposts that have been blown down. All the signs, the road signs in my area are on the floor.
Really?
It's mad. Yeah. Trees have come down.
That's what I've seen a lot of on Twitter, like people posting like these like over 100-year-old trees just gone, like completely on the floor. Like I think that's incredible because it's kind of like you realize like, oh, this actually doesn't happen very often at all. For like, because if this had happened, you know, how many 10 years ago, like this, you would have seen all these trees go. But obviously, they've been able to withstand every storm that's kind of come its way until now.
Because I feel like there was a good storm during lockdown. I feel like there was like a big windy day because I felt like in my memories on my phone, I had some videos of it, of like stuff being blown about and that. But like this one's like made news, which is like quite significant.
Yeah, I mean, I was calling it Storm Eunice before because I've never really heard that name.
Storm Eunice.
Storm Eunice. It's Eunice. If I hear one more goddamn for reference, that's Key and Peele. If you don't know who that is, but if you don't know, go search Key and Peele.
I was about to say Kevin and Perry, but that's the UK duo, isn't it?
Kevin and Perry.
Big Gil.
Mate, I've got a few things to bring to the old table.
No worries. While you do that, I'm just going to pour water into my... See, now it's a video podcast. People don't understand.
We can see you pouring water out of a kettle.
And you're going to hear it because I've put it near the mic. Like,
ooh.
How does that sound?
That sounds wonderful.
So I woke up and immediately showered and went shopping. So I'm shattered.
Like all the shushes. Shower, shop, and shattered.
Enjoy that. And so I'm having my second glass of water.
Is that a Stella Artois?
It's a Stella
glass.
pint.
I know them from back in the day at uni.
Oh, yeah.
Stella.
So you're really gonna have to steer the ship today, mate.
Mate, that's all right. I feel like you're the one that's always steering the ship. I'm just there going, hey mate, how you doing? And then you just get on with it.
I've got some stuff for the end. There you go.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm really say about the Instagram thing, wasn't it? That sounds quite interesting. No, mate. So I've did my voiceover reel on Friday, which of course was the day of Storm Eunice. So
so you had to travel in it.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, I was at my girlfriend Molly's place, and so I could just get a bus. But on that day, like so many trains were just obviously cancelled, and it was pretty mad. But like the buses were fine. I mean, I got there. It was in Brixton, so it wasn't too far from where she lives. And yeah, mate, I stepped outside when I was waiting for the bus. Like, I couldn't, because of where the wind was coming from, I couldn't face where the bus was coming from because the wind was coming that way. So I had to turn facing the way the bus was going whilst it was coming this way, just so I could because it was like raining. It was horrible, man.
It was like sideways rain, basically, wasn't it?
Sideways rain. I couldn't even, when I was crossing the road to get to the studio, I was just like, I was like, this is actually mad. Like it was so strong, and like, yeah, crazy, man, crazy. But yeah, the voiceover thing went well. I've not done voiceovers before, so it was like a different experience for sure. The way it kind of worked was it was 2 hours, and you had first hour was with this lady, which I can't remember what her name is, and she kind of went through the scripts that I'd been sent, and she was kind of going like, yeah, no, like sort of like hearing my voice and stuff, which was it was a bit intense, because it was like, she was like, right, do you want to read the Adidas one in your own time? I was like, oh, because it makes you
proper audition.
It's sort of, I don't know, it makes you question like, oh shit, can I even read English?
Yeah, you go through everything.
It's a very simple task. Yeah, it's like, yeah, but it went well, and like it was nice to hear those, because it was basically her and this other guy called Adam, who was like, he was like the sort of like editing engineer. Cool. So he came in, we'd selected sort of like 5 or 6 scripts, and then the second hour we went into the actual booth, and it kind of worked where I was in this booth, and through the like glass I could see them two watching this massive screen which has like my audio waves when I speak.
So
they're like sat listening, and like it's cool because they can switch.
Did you get any photos?
No, mate. I wanted to, but I was like, I'm a bit like, I don't know. I was so in the zone.
Yeah, and you're in the deep end with it. Like you've never done it before, and you're doing it like it's like top tier professional editing studio you're in. So yeah.
I was a bit like
that's exciting.
In awe. I was like, oh shit, this is like, this is it. This is how they do it, And it was a bit not intense, but they were kind of, and to be honest, they did say they would do this, but they were quite critical, but in a good way, in a sense of like, they'd be like, okay, that was good, but can you not slow it down? Can you just make it a bit more, just a bit lighter? So I'd do it again, and they go, yeah, can we just go back to the top and just do the first line? Okay, now can we just go back to the end, the last line? A bit slower. Like it's just like, it was like constant sort of.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then did they just mesh that together? And then
I think because so the way it would work is whatever script it was, say it was the Adidas one that I did, I would read that for like one take, if I could get through it all, and then they would then go, right, okay, it's good, but can you normally, so for the Adidas one, they wanted me to be way more like I was trying to get someone to go to the army, for example.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it was something like, we've all been fed a lie. We thought working hard was enough. But what is enough is creativity. It's like, it was very like that, but like, it was interesting. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. And he was like, actually, can you clench your fists and put it next to your temples and read it and do it again? So it made me be like, creativity. Like a bit more.
That's amazing.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm starting to picture when you see like voice actors doing stuff for like, I don't know, the like animations or like Rick and Morty or whatever, you see them in the studio and they really they give themselves enough room to act around the mic. And now it makes more sense. Why? Because they're obviously getting even just emotion out of your voice. That's so good.
It makes sense, man. Like, I think you have to put that much, you probably have to put even more energy than you would if you were acting, like if someone could see you on screen. or see you in like a play or anything. And what was really interesting, which it's not it is interesting, but it was kind of like, oh god, I got to really be paying attention, because they basically said if you make a mistake, just stop and then go back to where you want to go from. Don't go unleash your unleash your, like, you can't really,
because you come out.
Yeah, because they said no, you could have a really good take of that line, and if you've gone unleash your they can't edit that. Whether you unleash your creative, like if you just go back and have a pause. I was like, okay. So that was a bit like getting used to it, because I'll say I'm so bad for doing it, like when we're on stage and stuff and like rehearsing.
Yeah, and
like,
sorry, guys. Self tapes and rehearsal, you're like, oh for fuck, sorry guys, let's go again. Like, and with a self tape, it's constant. Like everyone's outtakes is them just swearing at themselves.
Oh mate, definitely. But mate, I thought it went really well. Like
such a cool experience, man.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was a good advert for me to be like, yeah, I definitely want to go into this industry as well as theatre. But they were really happy with me. They said I got a really good voice for voiceovers, and they thought that I was good to work with, and I took direction really well from what they were giving, because they said normally we give people probably more criticism and they get a bit overwhelmed because they're like, oh shit, I'm not even doing it right. Like I'm getting it. I can't even speak.
Should I be doing this sort of thing?
Yeah. Should I? Is this the right industry? Yeah. Like, but it was really nice to hear from two people who hear this all the time.
Do it daily.
Yeah, and for them to say, oh yeah, you got, because they basically got this agency who they're with, who are really good actually, and they were saying like, they don't think they've got a voice like mine on their book, so definitely when this reel comes out, send it out to them as well as other ones. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah.
Here we go, lad.
Yeah, let's man. Do it. But we'll see. It was really fun. It was a fun like experience. And I was just like, this is just sick. Like I've always wanted to be like professional, kind of in a professional studio doing this. I was like, this is pretty, this is what's mad. This is some people's lives. Like they literally just do voiceovers, some people. And like
they make money.
Yeah. If you're on the right zone, mate, it's pretty, but it'd be interesting to hear it though. Hear it back.
There's even just a good advert. Like I had a dream last night that this is weird. I had a dream last night that we all did an advert. And
wow.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all I can remember. And I remember I had to go in, and so there's a thing called I want to say it might be ADR, but I might be wrong, where you have to like go back in and record your voice again because you muffled a line or whatever.
Yes. Yeah. I know.
I think it's ADR. I might be completely wrong.
It's when like if you've done like a series on TV and they missed like slightly word, they make you go back and do the voiceover.
You're like watching everyone and you're going da-la-la as soon as it comes up. You're saying the line. Obviously not da-la-la, because that's not a line. It's like so tight.
It's like the reverse of lip syncing, basically.
Yeah.
Just like,
yeah. And it's quite interesting. Like I had a little dream about that, and I remember turning to you and going, Cody, you're going to make bank in this. Like you're going to make money.
That's what I want, mate.
My jealousy comes. Obviously, it's not about that as well. It's also about the love of it. But yeah,
making that pee, mate. Yeah, no, it was really fun, man. Yeah, it was mad. The reason why I mentioned that storm was because we actually had to stop sometimes, because we'd be like mid-recording, and then Adam, the sort of engineer, we would stop it and go, sorry, that I can just hear like bins falling like outside, and like we're in like a soundproof.
Yeah, nothing can go out of that room, but the fact that it's coming in,
you can hear like it was like boom, boom, boom. He was like, I don't want to take any risks of like, I want to make sure there's nothing, because I could feel, it was weird. I could feel like the bins. I can feel the bins. It was a bit like, what the hell is that?
Hairspray. I can feel the bins.
the slightly less glamorous version.
Hairspray Medway edition.
Oh mate, it was so funny. I've been taking your suggestion actually. I've been listening to my new football club.
It's so good, isn't it?
by
It's
David
so
Earl
good.
and Joe Wilkinson. Yeah, mate, it's sick. It is.
The guests they have on there are class as well.
Yeah, well, I've only just started. I've only got to which episode? Just got past them talking about Bristol Rovers. So for anyone who doesn't know, these two actors called Joe Wilkinson and David Earl, they've got this podcast called My New Football Club, and basically it's about David Earl, who I think is he moved to Devon or has he always lived there? Yeah, so he's moved to.
I think it was at the start of Chatterbox he moved.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he moved down there, and he basically was like, I've got 3 football teams that I'd like to support that are local teams. And he's gone for Exeter City. So it's kind of just a podcast of him. I think he's got like a half season ticket at the moment.
He's getting one. Yeah. I think by the time, because you're catching up, he's got one at the moment. You know what I mean? Like he bought it for the second half of the season.
Yeah, he's basically just documenting his like experience going to the game. It's just really funny hearing because the fact that we've both gone to like proper local games, like hearing what he's saying about like like going alone to a football match. Like I feel that so heavily.
Yeah, I bet you do. That's what I was trying to say to you. I was like, you've got so much relatability because I'm lucky. I get to go with people like I know around here.
It's difficult, man, because it's like. I could go with my house. My housemate's always busy, so it's difficult to find time to go to like Dulwich or whatever. But like, so for example, I watched Arsenal on Saturday, and I went on my own.
You went on your own? I thought you went with your brother.
No, he wanted to come, but I didn't think it aligned properly.
Timed out,
and the trains were probably messed up anyway if he tried.
That's true.
But yeah, I just went on my own. £26 to sit in the corner. Unbelievable.
You're quite close.
Yeah, man.
Quite close.
I mean, now that we've got video format, I'll put a little video over this.
You're going to edit this? I didn't know if I was editing this one or you were, but that's cool.
Man.
All right, sweet. It gives you something to do on the train.
Yeah, it gives me something to do, mate. You're too busy, mate. You got so much stuff in your hands. Like
too many jobs.
Too many jobs. Yeah, and like I was just listening to the podcast, and he was asking, "Is it all right to go on your own to a football game?" And like when he had, I can't remember the comedian. Is it Ellis?
Ellis James?
Yeah, Ellis James. When he came on and was talking about his support for Swansea, and like
Ellis James,
he was talking about. He was like, "Yeah, well," he's like, "Mate, if you go on your own, you're just gonna have to look at the program for 30 minutes on your own." He was just like, but it was just like, it was so like, oh yeah, I feel that. I mean, I try and like when I go to Arsenal, I've been to a few on my own. It's quite fine because because it's always packed. You're always next to someone and you can chat to someone about the game. And yes, like the other day when Saka scored to make it 2-0, I was just hugging this guy. This guy hugged me. It's like 50-year-old man. He was like, we were just chatting about the game. Then he gave me a hug. I was like, this is mad. I mean, mate, we had honestly, I'm a bit weird with like, I don't want to film like actual play. Like if it's like a corner or something, I'll film them coming over to the corner to take it. But I don't like trying to film for a goal. So I want to see the goal.
You want to see the goal. Yeah.
And like, mate, I was on the end that I was at, I saw both goals like so well. Like, so they were shooting to I was like where the corner of the goal was, and both goals went to the corner that I was behind, basically.
Oh, perfect.
So I could see I was behind the keeper, basically diving for both. Oh, mate, it was sick.
And obviously that what I love is that, and you would have obviously definitely witnessed it being there, is that feeling of everyone sort of crouch sitting as the goal's about to come in. Like, do you know what I mean? As the ball's coming towards you, like everyone's crouch sitting, and then it's everyone gets up.
Honestly, man. It's with Arsenal, they've got it's a bit weird. I was looking around, like, because not everyone sits down. They've got, I think it's if you're sat more in the middle of the like pitch, like more central, I think they're all sat down. But I think it's when you get more behind the goal, then everyone's just stood up the whole game. Like I think I was stood up the whole game. My legs were hurting, man. Because you're just like, it's like your leg starts twitching. You're like, oh, shit. Which I mean, you'll know from bloody Maidstone. But it was just like, mate, I just love it. I love it. Like, and it's just, I was watching the goal back this morning, and obviously it's nothing like when you're in the ground, but you just still hear it when, they're going through, they take the shot, and everything goes tiny bit quiet, and then everyone it's that little bit of quiet before it goes in, mate. That is I don't know. That's honestly why I understand why people go to football games. Like, it just, some people are going through rough shit at the moment, and for them going to watch for those 90 minutes, and especially if there's a goal, they are like not thinking about any of their worries, or they're just in a community with people supporting the same, same club, same thing. It's just amazing, man. I love it.
I can imagine losing isn't as bad if you're there. Does that make sense? Because I haven't seen that many live football games, truth be told, other than playing in them when I was younger.
Yeah.
Sunday league, boom. But like, I can imagine if you're at that Arsenal game and we lost, but you saw and put up a fight, and because you're seeing it in person, even if on TV it doesn't look like Arsenal putting in the effort or whatever, in person it always does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So like, I feel like obviously it'll be gutting, and if you're having a bad time at the moment, seeing your team lose just adds to that. But I think it'd almost lessen the impact, because you're there, you're surrounded by everyone, and you realize the impact it's having on everyone's lives. It's so good. We've always said we love sport, but that feeling can't be beaten, can it?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's. I've really worked out now. Like, it does depend where you're sat as well. Like, this view was cool because I was quite strategic with this, because Arsenal normally in their second half they kick towards the North Bank stand, which is where I was sat, and normally most goals come in the second half. So I was like, oh, surely I'm going to get some goals in this half, because it was 0-0 at half time. I was like, yes. Secretly, I was like, yes.
It's got to be something. Even if it's a loss, there's something's going to happen.
Yeah. And literally, I came back. And also, because when I watched them against Crystal Palace about 4 months ago, and I was in the toilet and I was late coming out, and I missed. It wasn't an Arsenal goal, but I missed a Palace goal. And I was like, I just hate missing goals. But I'm not doing that this time. I'm going to go to the toilet, make sure I'm back like 2 minutes before. I'm so happy because like Smith Rowe literally scored like 2 minutes after the break, like straight away. And there's people next to me missed it. Yeah, it's sick, mate.
I wish I was there, man. I'm gutted.
Mate, we're
very jealous.
Because you're going to Brighton?
I'm going to Arsenal Leicester in March.
Leicester. Man, I really want to watch that game.
That is the same week that Maidstone Dulwich is.
That's a lot of football.
There's a lot of football, and I'm meant to be working.
Mate, I was looking at tickets for that game. Like, I think at the moment the cheapest is like 70 quid.
Because my brother's bought it for my birthday, so unlucky, mate.
do you know you're sat for it?
All I said, because I told him about where you were sitting, he was like, "You're going to be up in the gods, mate." And I was like, "That's fine, because when you watch football, you're in the gods, because you're watching from that camera that's up there. So it'll be the same experience, just be surrounded by people."
Also, when you're there, it is a lot closer than you think. I think when you're watching it on TV, you're like, oh, it looks kind of far. But like wherever I've sat,
ants, don't they? It's
it
like
looks
little FIFA ants. That's what I describe it as.
FIFA ants
playing FIFA. I used to change the camera settings on FIFA, so it was a lot closer.
Yeah, no, I would say like the telly broadcast view, or it's called.
Yeah, right.
I think, mate, you're going to love it. I also, what a game to go to. I think the reason why that's more expensive is because it's like a category B game, maybe. I think it goes A, B, C. Yeah, and I mean, we should win that game, really. Like, Leicester haven't been great.
Leicester haven't been amazing. Although, who was it yesterday? So we're recording this on Monday the 21st. Was it yesterday? Were Leeds playing yesterday, and did they score an absolute belter?
They played against Man United, yeah. I didn't actually see the goals, to be honest.
Mate, some of the goals, I think it was that game, were incredible. Like,
yeah.
It's ignited a love to just watch it whenever I can. Like, it's so nice. I can't wait to have to be able to buy the Sky Sports package and just be able to catch it as much as possible. But obviously it's not worth it right now.
Mate, I mean, it's one of those things though. It's really addictive when you can get to the games, because part of me, when I was when I was like wanting to go to these games, I was always like, oh, you know, I don't want to watch like the category C games against like Brentford or Brighton or whatever. And it's like, it honestly doesn't matter if you can get to a game, especially for £26. Like, what we like, come on.
That was the same price as my day out to Maidstone. What you spent to go see Arsenal.
I think overall, including travel, is probably 30 max. All in £30, because it's just like, and to be where I was as well. That's why I'm always on the site like, come on, who's going to put their ticket on? That's how I got the ticket, was people put it on this thing called ticket. I think it's like resale. So I think it's like members who've got tickets, but they want to see if they can get their money back from what they bought. And people always do it. It's like 60,000 bloody seats in there. But mate, honestly, just a great experience. And that's why I brought up the podcast, the My New Football Club, because it's just like, you listen to that and yeah, you just realize everything is, you know, it's what we've all missed, those kind of live events, going to those live events, meeting people, cheering the same team.
I think he sort of mentions it, doesn't he? Because David Earl and Chatterbix was always saying like, it's really weird when people have started to get back on trains and stuff, because he's like, obviously with COVID, he's like, that's so strange that everyone wants to be like in a confined spot. But now he's going to football matches. I think it's quite funny. Like his experience of it is really interesting.
I didn't know that they were both like, no, especially Joe. I didn't know they were like big football fans, like
big
or
Jill's
at least
fan.
into it. Yeah, no, Jilly.
That's why Gillingham Joe on Twitter. Yeah,
that's why it's so sick for you.
Thinking. If we keep doing this, if we keep mentioning it, we might get a guest spot on their pod.
Guest spot. It feels like they're taking anyone at this point. Like they're like, come on. We'll just get these two random blokes coming on Zoom.
Oh, brilliant.
Gillingham, Gills, yeah, that's so sick. Because it was right what he said. He said, you know, Gillingham is the football club of Kent. It's Kent's football club, basically.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's true. Like,
because like you try and think of another one that's as
big as them.
Yeah, you can't.
But they've been like second tier football like for quite a lot of their history. You know,
and they've had some decent like people roll through their squad. They really have. And that's what's nice about David Earl, because he's doing all the research as well, because he wants to know everything. And he tells you what sort of club Exeter is. And then they interview the manager in one of the episodes. And he explains exactly what the club is and what makes them different to normal clubs, because they have to do certain processes, because they're completely like from the top down, they run differently to every other club in the league, which I think is quite interesting. Like the financial situation is different. The reason they always have young people in the squad, like, yeah, it's good. Definitely worth a listen. I like how our podcast, half of it is just us suggesting other people, like people to just go and listen to other shit.
we just give advertisement for free, basically. So
I know.
That's all we do.
Sad.
I mean, speaking of things that aren't
trying to buy a house.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. Trying to buy a house, that ain't gonna be free. Bloody more like £300,000.
So sad.
No, I was gonna say, speaking of free, or speaking of things that aren't free, Valentines Day.
Oh yeah.
How was it? Was it? So I don't need to go into too much detail if we're, I don't want. You know what I mean? I'm not going to listen back to this and go, oh shit, I made that sound like it was really bad when it was actually nice.
I had a lovely time. So did you?
Yeah. Did I?
Well, I assume. Well, you told me you did.
No, I
we
didn't
go together. Can we be clear?
Yeah, you were sat on the opposite. You were sat on the opposite table to me, weren't you?
Oh,
me and Molly walking.
So
what's? How are you? Hello, mate. What are you doing?
Hi, guys. How you doing?
I thought you were going. Oh, is this local for you? Okay, right.
Imagine I travelled all the way up to London just to spend Valentine's with you two.
Sorry, mate. You're sat in our seat.
Yeah, I thought I'd join you.
It's only room for two, mate. I was gonna say, because it's a cool little. I think we brought up Valentine's before. I think maybe like our second episode, maybe way back in the day. But it's always like, I do feel like it's a very overly pressurized time. I don't know.
A lot of people call it like the Hallmark holiday, don't they? Is Hallmark the one that make cards? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yes,
It's like
Walmart, expensive one.
Yeah, it's like a business mindset holiday, because obviously people can make money from selling chocolates, cards, or whatever, flowers. But at the same time, I agree with them. It is kind of like a holiday. You're like, come on, like, do we have to specify a day to do this? But it does sort of, on the flip side of that, it pushes people to go on a date. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's quite nice. It kind of like not forces you, but like encourages you to do it. Because sometimes you can't find the time to do that. Like, for example, me and Amber, we haven't been able to find time for ages to be able to just go, let's go grab a meal out. Whereas this kind of pushed us to do it, which was nice. Not that we need the encouragement. Amber, if you're watching, I didn't need the encouragement to take you out. Oh, God.
Now you're on video, so we're seeing all the facial expressions and everything.
Yeah, I've realized that as well. By the way, side note, I've been drinking water on my right and then coffee on my left the whole podcast. So like, it's literally been bang. Every like time I'm not speaking, I'm drinking.
You're just drinking bloody... God, well, at least you're staying hydrated, you know? I mean, you're going to be pissing like no business in a minute.
Making the trees that have fallen down outside jealous.
Just jealous. No, but you're right though, man. Like it is a good way to encourage people that don't get a chance to, you know, especially this year. I think this was the first Valentine's that felt semi, you know, like normal again. Yeah, like we've been able to go out and like it wasn't as difficult to book places. It felt a bit, that felt normal going where we went to. How was the place that you went to? Was it nice? Was it good? Like, was it like a drinks? Was it more drinks kind of based, or was it just like a really nice pub kind of like restaurant kind of place?
I think it's a mixture. I've always thought it was a cocktail bar,
but they look really nice, amazing. Man. The pictures looks amazing.
It's called the Herbalist, and there's like vines and all the leaves and stuff. You know, like those really cool restaurants that obviously are good with their decoration.
Cute. It's cute, isn't it?
It's cute. And like, yeah, I took her there because I was like, right, I drive and I don't really drink. So I was like, I'll treat you, pay for the evening, get some cocktails in. But it ended up being a full-on restaurant. So I was like, all right, we'll eat. And but the food was banging, man. Yeah, I'll pay. And then there's me going, oh. But no, it was really good. We had a good time. And it, like I say, it was just nice to be out and not have any thought go anywhere but like just chilling with Amber, which was nice. And I obviously I knew where you guys were going. Bloody hell, that looked good. I looked at some of the photos on Google of the food that they do, and I was like, oh.
it was a little bit imposter syndrome, I think. Like the I don't know. So I know my like, sorry, I'm charging my toothbrush and it fell over, so I thought I'd pick it up. Anyway, if you're listening to this, you won't be able to see that. Dear. It was the Oxo Tower in South Bank, and it was a little bit, you know, should I be here? You know, you come in, they take your coat, hang it up, very
wow.
Yeah, very like that. Very.
Do you want to know the difference? I took a bag of clothes that I'd worn that day to work, and obviously I got changed in the toilets before I met Amber, and it was in an Aldi shopping bag, and I put it next to my chair.
Lovely. At least it's hidden, you know, under the table.
Oh, terrible. You went, oh yes, you could take my coat.
Mate, they took it off me. They're like, can we take your coat, sir?
Wow, okay. They like asked for it. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's like, no, you can't, mate. I mean, it was. I think it was bad weather that day because we went on a Sunday, the day before Valentine's. Was you went on was it Friday or Saturday?
Friday, yeah.
Yeah, which I quite liked. I thought we did quite well in that sort of sense because, like, it makes the actual Valentine's Day maybe a bit less, like I say, a little bit less stressful, and like you've got to do everything. I think it's got to be on the 14th. Like, do you know what I mean? Whereas we were kind of like, we'll do these meals like a bit before and just like have some like nice time, you know.
I got this on Valentine's. Actually, I've been drinking from it the whole time. It's
a song. Is it a song?
It's a Spotify mug. So you scan it and it plays the song that's on the thing. And it's 3D Feelings by Alfie Templeman.
Oh, I love that kind of stuff, mate. That's it. That's sick.
nice present because I use it. It's not just like,
this is the thing, innit? You want presents that are just, you know, it doesn't have to be glamorous.
Mine ended up being the food and the drink at the restaurant.
Useful.
Useful.
Mate, what did you say you had something on Instagram or something?
Yes. Well, before we go there, I wanted to ask, because you did harken back to the beginning of this podcast, you spoke about obviously doing the voiceover stuff. Now, obviously, you've now had 2 years of experience having to edit your own audio and obviously add sounds, sound effects, bleeping, all of that stuff. I know it's like not to a level that someone would go and study it, but you know, you're self-taught doing that, as am I, hopefully. But when you were there, were you doing the whole, you know how like sometimes we'd have to tell Joe to come up on the mic and like back off the mic and stuff? Were you aware of that yourself, and were you moving, or was it they had full control to the point where they could drop you down so you didn't really have to move? Do you know what I mean?
They did say, they were like, you need to be ideally 4 fingers width away from the mic.
Is that universal, or is that just for their mic? Do you reckon?
It sounded quite universal to me, but
I
don't know. 4 fingers. Yeah, never mind, mate. But we're doing a podcast. We can talk here if you want, and no one can hear me. I think it was kind of like a bit of a rule. Like it's a good gauge to be that far away.
Cool.
And they said to me a few times to like be to make sure I'm like center, because it was difficult, because like it was one of those mics that was like, you know, it hangs over, you know, like with proper pop shield and all that. But it was difficult because you're having to. They had a bit of blue tack on this like wall in front of you where you could stick the script, and it's a bit mad because you're trying to be this close, but you're also looking and trying to read. Obviously, I was like more like this angle, like straight on, but the pop shield was quite big. Like it was quite a large. Like our mics we're using, they're quite small, whereas this one was it takes up quite a lot of your view. So I had to sort of keep fiddling with the script to make sure it was high enough so I could see it, but also that I was in the right position. Yeah, man, 4 fingers is what they said for the mic, but also when I was doing one that was about what was it about? It was about Magnum Mayan ice cream. Magnum Mayan Mystica ice cream. So they wanted me to be obviously a lot, not deeper, but just, they said, right, now I want you to talk this. Just make sure it's already relaxed and just be in there. Like Magnum Mayan ice cream. It was very like just get in there, because I didn't want to be. It's hard because you want to be like this. You want to be like Magnum Mayan ice cream. Get it to the. That's not me. That's not me, is it? That's just me pretending to be a voice.
That was great.
So it's just like Magnum Mayan ice cream 3 packs. Goodbye. Yeah, good. No, it's sick.
Oh man, it sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm glad.
I want you to go on it, man. You've got a good voice for like a lot of stuff like that. You can do it. You got quite a range.
But no one wants to hear me go, "Oi, look, mate, go buy some ice cream."
They do. They do want to hear you do that. Like we're in this. It's what they were saying, that we're in the era even more so now, like where, you know, if they want someone from, I don't know, Kent, they're going to get someone from Kent. They're not going to go, "Oh, Cody, can you put on like a Kent accent?"
Yeah.
Because what's the point?
Yeah.
And they want people who they can just, a lot of the time they get people from cooperative kind of institutions or businesses where they're going, "Oh, can we get a voiceover that's just, it sounds like we're just picking them off the street." Which is, you know, that means they just want you to be you and not going, "Lloyd's TSB, get your bank now." Like it's not, you know,
because I am from the streets. So
you're from the streets, mate. From the streets, bro.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah, they like, rather than have you do an impression of a Scottish person, they'll go get a Scottish person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I didn't, because I told them this is my first time ever doing voiceovers, really like properly at this. They were like quite shocked about that. I think they thought I'd done a few more, but I said maybe it's because I've done podcasts and it's helped us know how to, I don't know, manipulate the microphone. Yeah,
because we did maybe 1 or 2 workshops at uni on it, but you didn't do any at RAM either, did you?
No. And
yeah,
what I was saying about where we went at uni, like they were cool, but I did feel like they came in going, right, pick your favorite advert and do it. Like I remember doing the Old Spice, look at your man, not back at me. And I literally did it as him. And they were like, great. And it's like, but it obviously isn't great because that's not me, is it? I'm just putting on a voice.
You're doing the thing. Yeah. I mean, it is a good impression that you do.
I
also, by the way, speaking of impressions, my brother sent me the, they're eating her and they're going to eat me. And I promised him that you would try and, I promised him you would do the, oh my God. So if you could just get into character, Cody, and do the, if you want to watch it, it's fine. Put it on the screen, more editing.
I'm have to go back from the mic for this. Sorry.
That's okay.
They're eating her. And they're going to eat me. Oh my God.
Oh, what was great. I don't know if that was for the audience, but for me, because you backed up so far, it muted you for a little bit. So
that's
it was
just
like,
my mouth going.
Very good.
Wow.
I love that impression.
There you
so
go.
Good.
Who requested that? Dan?
Ryan did, yeah.
Oh, Ryan
Yeah.
Ryan did.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan.
He was like, I'm going to have to ask him next time I see him. And I was like, I will do one better. We'll get it permanently recorded and put on Spotify and wherever else you get your podcasts.
Forever on there. God's sake. It's too early for that shit, man. Bloody mental.
Right. I am
what was it? Instagram.
So I've got a video to show you of like, it made me laugh, and then it's going to spark a story from when I was in the panto. But you know, like the thrill seekers, the ones that like, I mean, for example, I know it was with Red Bull, but I think it was Felix that jumped out of space. So they took him up in like a massive hot air balloon, didn't they? And he jumped out and landed on Earth.
Yes.
Biggest moment ever. You know, I'm sure he'll top it one day, but for him at that point, that's like, this is the biggest thing I've ever done. Whoa. So like, you know, when you see all the people that are like doing tricks out of airplanes before they pull a parachute and stuff, I'm always amazed by that, because they're probably going, right, I'm going to do like a triple flip and catch myself in the air to then pull a chute. That, and to me, because I've never done it and probably won't be doing any flips if I ever did a skydive, that would be, that it just amazes me.
Yeah.
So there's a video, it was viral, and I picked up on the wrong part of the video. So there's a guy, he's hanging off of the edge of a platform, and I don't know if it's a massive hot air balloon, like one that's really high up, or he's in a plane. I think it's a hot air balloon from what I remember, but he's holding on, and he goes, right, you're recording, and then counts himself down and lets go and just falls to the earth, and obviously then pulls his parachute and stuff. But when you watch it, I'm gonna see if you pick it up. I'm gonna send it to you
on Instagram.
Yep. And there's a thing he does in the countdown. There you go. I've given you a big hint that just, I was literally gutted for him, because obviously this video was going to go viral. Just watch it.
Right.
Hey boys. Yeah. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, he fucked up there.
Do you want to play it into the mic just so everyone else can hear it?
I mean, again, I can just screen record it and put it on.
All right, cool.
Maybe.
I didn't want to give you so much editing, but
good. I'll play it anyway.
Love you, boys. 3, 2, 1.
So I'm very sorry. You can probably hear. So I've had to put up with. Well, we're gonna have to end the podcast in these last 8 minutes with this sound, but yeah,
wonderful.
So I've had to been putting up with builders next door, and
how long's that been going on for now?
Probably only like 2 weeks, maybe, but they got 3 months left. 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah, they're building a fucking loft, like they're building like another like above, like the second story. They're building another level. I can see it now.
Are they building it themselves, or have they hired a company to come in and build it? Do you know what I mean?
So I think someone's bought the house next to us, right, and they're like, let's sort some shit out. Let's do it. Which is what my house
they've got
needs.
money. They have got money then.
They've got some money.
A 3-month job. That's going to cost so much money.
And they've already did downstairs. They've already knocked through the wall, because they got the kitchens downstairs, and they've basically made like an open, what's it called, like an open walkway where you can just go out instead of having to go out the door on the side. It just double door, which opens straight away. But yeah, I was really scared because of the storms. They got all this scaffolding next to me, and I was like,
and it's above you now.
I was like, I genuinely was fearing that. I was like, is this gonna fall through? Because as you can hear, ceiling's not really that thick. So if it's falling, I better not be here. I was like, should I take my laptop? Like, what do I do?
Yeah, mad. Or any safe belongings, take them out. Oh god, yeah, because you saw all those videos of the scaffolding falling down, and like, there's that video. I think it's in London of like half of a roof has been built, and obviously the rest of it is scaffolding, and it's just flapping in the wind. That's mad. And then it caves in right at the end. There was a church in Somerset, their steeple fell over like in Hot Fuzz.
I couldn't believe that was real. I was like, is that actually legit happened?
And it literally looks like someone's photoshopped the top, doesn't it? Cut it, and then it just tips boom. Down. Mad. Yeah. And obviously the O2 Arena, it's like
I was going to say about that, but the O2 just rip it. But someone said, I saw on Twitter, someone put a picture saying every boy's had pants like this or something.
I saw that. Every boy has got a pair of underwear like this.
It's like ripped from like the elastic.
It's so true. So true. So the reason I showed you that video, by the way, is because I've got a little tale of one of the last shows in Panto. And I don't know if this has ever happened to you, like it might have done in Hex. But at the end of the run, everyone had like a rhyming couplet that they did to sort of say thanks for coming to watch, especially during these times, finish the story up, and then also invite them to come back again for the next one next year. And my one, I think, was, as a village we rallied and proved we're defiant. Right? That was my line. And I went in one of the last shows, as a village we rallied and proved we're defiant. Right? And it's meant to like go rhyming couplets. Everyone's just meant to jump on the back of each other, and the entire cast broke down and just started laughing, pointing,
that sent them off. Oh my god!
Yeah. I mean, it was good because then the audience joined in and stuff. But yeah, oh mate,
so you must have fully flipped.
Voice cracks. Yeah, and it's just because like obviously end of probably a 3-show day, you're just knackered, and it's just thanks for coming. Oh guys,
at that point, everyone's probably like delirious. And just like it's probably the stage when anything's funny.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I didn't know if that had ever happened to you, because like I know we'd always joke about voice cracks on here and at uni or whatever, but yeah, it was a low point.
I mean, nah, mate, you've not. I mean, did you ever stack it when you were doing Panto?
Yes.
Same. Yeah, I stacked it.
Yeah, there was one. I had to run across to the other side of the stage and just flew onto my bum, just fully like not meant to be part of it at all. Was that in Hex that you fell over?
No, it was in my first show, Gypsy. Not in the very first show of that, but in Gypsy, it was because we were tapping and the floor was very like quite slippy. I can't even remember. I think I literally just fell on my bum, like full on from doing a tap routine. So everyone was just like pissing, because it was kind of like if you hadn't fallen on the floor, you were doing really well. Because I think most people
eyes were on you. Like
most people had fallen over. I think I was like one of like 3 people left out of like the 8 ensemble, and like and because in that theatre in Manchester, it's so the audience are so close, it's a bit exposing. You kind of like you know when you go wrong if you're in there.
Everyone can see it.
Yeah, it was, but I voice crack wise, I don't really like, because I've not really done many, like, I haven't really done any solo stuff really. Like I did in Gypsy, I had lines and stuff, and same with Hex. I didn't crack in those, but like Hairspray, there was definitely Gypsy definitely was when we were singing in ensemble. I just like my voice was just, if you had a drink the night before, it's not the one.
Gone.
That was a learning curve, when to drink and not to drink.
I was sober for the whole of Panto. It was really depressing.
Yeah, but you can't. I mean, mate, if you're being a lead, mate, I've never done that. Being a lead in a show, like you got to take yourself seriously.
But also the Hairspray songs, they are high. Like they are constant and they are high, and you're dancing as well, so you're already like gonna be tired.
I mean, I won't mind saying, like, there was bits where I was like miming for bits that were like, if we've done 7 out of 8 shows and it's like you're trying to get there, there's bits where you're like, there is 30 of us on stage. Maybe I could just not sing that word and let the girls do it or something. I don't know.
But also it's because you've got to use your reserves to give the best that you can. So if it meant dropping out of a line to be able to, I don't know, hit a better dance move, you're going to do it. Do you know what I mean? You've got to do whatever you can to like give them the best product at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that's why I voice cracked at the end of the show, because made them all laugh. Do you know what I mean?
What was the word? Proved.
I'm sure it was on proved.
Maybe it's just a plosive, that P set you off.
Proved. Yeah, like Potter, but instead it was proved.
Harry Potter.
Imagine. I'd love that. I'd watch them again and again and again.
Mate,
right.
Bloody hell. You got anything else to bring to the old table?
I have. It's another thing I saved on Instagram, and I'm sending it to you, and I want your instant reaction. And obviously this means another edit. You're going to have to put the photo up on the old image, on the old video.
Right,
but here we go. And then I'll describe it to the audience after. You seeing that?
Well, I mean, I'll put the picture up. I won't bother showing it to you, but
no worries. So
out of all, you read it. Do you want to read it?
No, you go.
Out of all the evil shit parasites do, stealing a fish's tongue and taking its place is one of the creepiest.
Yeah.
Is that what that is? A massive parasite?
That's a parasite inside the fish's tongue. So to describe to the audio listeners, basically, obviously, there's parasites all over the world that do different shit to animals and humans when they can take over certain parts of your body, right? So I think there's some out there that can like change the thought process of an animal that they've infected to like basically feed whatever the parasite wants rather than what the animal wants. Takes over basically, and that's how they then spread and create more parasites. So this one literally, I think it describes how it does it. It might do.
Mate, that photo is honestly wow.
Yeah. They float around the ocean waiting for a host fish to get within range, at which time the isopods attach themselves to the gill arches of the fish. So obviously where they're breathing. So no matter what, they're like breathing, and then all of a sudden the parasite is going to come in.
Yeah.
Once attached, the oldest of the bunch will switch sexes to female and begin to grow much larger. Her eyes will get smaller and her legs will grow longer. Once the transformation is complete, it's time to move to the tongue. Upon her arrival, the parasitic isopod clamps down and cuts off the blood supply to the fish's liquor, causing it to atrophy and fall off due to the lack of circulation. The remaining stump is all the parasite needs, as it takes the place of the fish's tongue permanently. So the fish loses its tongue and then doesn't have control over its feeding because the parasite's now got it. How fucking crazy is that? That's mental.
I can't remember that's real life. It sounds like something out of like a game.
It does, doesn't it? It was like some sort of alien film.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It looks
and
like
that shit's in the ocean. Yeah, it does look like an ocean. Joe Rogan posted it on his Instagram months ago, and I just was like, I need to show Cody that. It just creeps me out. It's so weird, isn't it?
It's ridiculous, man. I don't know. It's amazing that he can change sexes. Is that what you said? You can go from male to female. Like, wow.
I think they're all born male, and then they attach, and then I guess one of them goes female, moves in.
Wow.
Mad. It freaks me out imagining that. I know there's like horror stories of when people are like in a river and then a parasite goes in their pee-pee. Like there's so many different scary things out there. And like one day we're going to talk about aliens and shit. I know we are, because I keep talking about them. But the fact that all of that shit's just in the ocean or in a river or just like bacteria on a tree, that's fucking crazy. That there's so much out there that I never knew about. Like there's so much stuff we don't know about. It just blows my mind.
Mate, we'll definitely do a dedicated podcast to that, because that shit really interests me. It's so mind blowing.
And I know this is on the pod, but I want another podcast. I want you to teach me about North Korea.
me to teach you about it. What?
Because you
I know about
went
it?
through a phase in lockdown of watching loads of their documentaries and stuff.
Oh,
Like, about
yeah,
North
true.
Korea. So,
True.
and I got around to watching like maybe one or two, but I feel like there's just a lot to unpick there and discuss. Maybe not. Okay, bad idea.
No, we might do. I'll try and keep it very within the whatever the laws of talking about North Korea are, but I don't know.
Yeah,
they haven't got
trouble.
I mean, they haven't got internet anyway, do they? So I mean, I don't know. Anyway,
what an end to the podcast.
I do want to apologize for the listener if you've been hearing drilling. I can't control the drilling, but lasted 52 minutes before that happened. So
that was pretty good going, mate. I mean, I didn't really hear it until you pointed it out. So
yeah, hopefully next time we won't be interrupted.
And hopefully I'm a bit more awake. It's taken me like an hour to become energized.
Mate, but at least now you are ready for work in approximately probably 3 hours.
Yeah. Gross.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. We appreciate your support as always. We love it that you guys take the time, take the hour out of your day to listen to us imbeciles.
It is pretty good. Thanks.
Yeah, but thank you once again, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye bye.